Today's sermon, Hope. Reading from the book of Luke, chapter 1, verses 18 through 25, by Pastor Brian Carpenter.
Hope. Many of us, we have this in our vocabulary. It's not, no, we don't really give a whole bunch of thought to it. We just say, I hope I get better. Anybody even said that? I just hope I feel better tomorrow. I hope I get that job. I just hope this surgery turns out the way that it should. I just hope things get better in my life. We just throw it out there casually. I hope I get this house. I hope I get that new car that I've been trying to get. I hope everybody shows up for Thanksgiving dinner. But Lord, I hope they eat all that food because I don't want to cook. We think about all these things. We just throw it out there, right? I hope my uncle don't come over here and mess up my Thanksgiving dinner, as he always does every year. He seems to come over here. He done got started at home. Now he comes over here. He's in rare form, and he gonna mess up the Thanksgiving again. But I make light of these things. But some of us are in that same place. We just always in a place of hope. I hope this turns out. I hope that works out for me. Hope is defined as a feeling or expectation and a desire for a certain thing to happen. We put ourselves in, we hope things are going to get better for us. I hope, man, this turns out right. And here we find a situation where God is promising Zacharias and his wife something. And they can't quite grasp what God is doing because they advanced in age. There's no way I'm going to have a child. Now, what you're talking about, man, is just way out of the loop for me, right? So when he had been put in this position to stand before God's people and be a blessing to them, but yet he's not receiving everything that God had for him because he had not connected to the source. John was the promised man who was going to come and be the forerunner for Christ. He had already told him in the beginning part of the chapter what was going to happen. Now he finds himself in the temple. He's worshiping God. He's been one of the ones who's been chosen to light the incense and which was the act of worship. He's sitting in there in the temple. And all of a sudden, Gabriel shows up, the angel of the Lord, gives him the promise, tells him what exactly is going to happen. But he didn't buy into it. But how many of us in the same place in our life? God is trying to speak to us, but yet we're not buying into it totally. I want to believe that. I really want to hope and pray that everything happens, but I just don't really know, right? And we're going to deal with a few things on this week that will really help us drive this thing home. First, we got to deal with our reluctance, right? When God speaks, sometimes we're still reluctant to go into that place we need to be, right? Doubting God is one of the things that keeps us in trouble, don't it? Well, God will give us a promise and he'll give us the word. We see it in Scripture, yet we're still in that place where I really don't think God is going to really do this for me. All the things that come up against me, I think about some of the things I've said this week, some of the places I've been, some of the things I've consumed. There's no way God's going to bless me. Now, I know, God, you said you would do this, but some part of me doesn't let me go to that next place so I can go to that next level in my belief. If I'm in here by myself, just stay right there. But sometimes, even in my own walk with God, I'm sitting there wondering, is he going to do exactly what he said he's going to do? Because, God, I'm not seeing it in my life. I'm not seeing everything that you said now. I'm waiting patiently. But so the mere fact that I haven't seen it sometimes dots our minds and our thoughts with things that should not be there. The things that happen in our jobs and in our lives sometimes, those things become the dominant force in our life because those things are real. Those things are pertinent in our life, but we can see folk acting a fool. We can when people are coming up against us, those things are easy to see. But when God is telling me he's going to bless me abundantly, I can't see that, so I'm going to attach to something that's way bigger than me. But God finally spoke. Zacharias been waiting on this word. But when he spoke the word, he wasn't able to receive it. And how did he say it? Are you certain? Are you certain that you're going to do this? Now, God has showed up in this place. He gave him a word, but yet he still goes back and questions the very one who's standing there in the presence. Are you certain now? Are you certain? Because I've already got myself in another place. I'm already set for retirement. I don't really want to deal with this kind of thing now. And the thing about it was God was speaking to him in this very present place. The very presence of God has showed up, and he's still sitting there wondering, is this real or not? He said, how will I know for certain? If I'm old and advanced, man. But there's repercussions sometimes when we don't understand and do what God is telling us in that place. He could not bring himself to believe that God could reverse the laws of nature. I'm too old, man. That's no way you can do this for me now. But how many of us are in that same place? We think we're beyond God's blessing. Come on, man. Yeah, I know you can do it, but God, man, I just don't know.
Come on, Pastor T.
Come on, I just don't know. You know, God's word should have been enough in our lives. But as usual, it's not, is it? We have to go over it, over and over it. We hear the sermons, we pray, we do all those different things. God is nudging us and moving us. We hear the spirits talking to us, but yet, here we are, the same mindset, over and over and over. He's in the place of being a blessing, but yet God is trying to break through this blessing to help him get to another place in his belief. Somebody in here is in that same mindset right now. God is dealing with you in your faith, but you just keep going back and forth. The blessings can't come through because our thoughts are not following what God is saying. Now, when God shows up and gives us the very answers that we need, why do we don't just walk out on the faith that God has already given us? Why do we're in a tug of war with God sometimes because we actually don't want the blessing sometimes, don't we? Because I'm too old to be dealing with that. You know, Brother David and I, we had young kids and we're in our 40s now. So they still have this energy. They want to run around, they want to play and all that. No, I'm tired. My daughter FaceTiming me. I'm in here trying to study. She's FaceTiming me, talking about she's bored. Okay, sweetheart, but I have work to do. Well, I'm bored. I get that. But there's still a place in me that I still have to go back because this was the blessing that God sent me. Although I'm tired, I still have to make those provisions, especially now when it's cold. I just can't kick her outside and go ride your bike or something like that. Now, it's put back on me to actually do some parenting now. I just can't sit them outside, right? But these are the things that happens to us. But look how God deals with it. He said, okay, verse 19, okay, since you don't believe me, he said, the angel answered to him. He said, I'm Gabriel who stands in the presence of the Lord, right? But since I've been sent to speak to you and give you this good news, he said, but since you didn't grab hold to it, you're going to be silent. Wow. Even when the authority of God's words isn't enough to persuade us, Zacharias, he said, we want the sign that really, that God is working. We hope for it. We want God to bless. God comes in here, and the first thing that happens is we doubt the Bible. He said, okay, not only that, you're not going to be able to speak now. Because you've been praying for this very thing that I told you was going to come. I just didn't tell you exactly when it was going to come. So you're going to play this game with me. So I come to church, I hear the word, I'm standing back, I'm waiting on God to bless me. God comes in and tells me that I'm going to be blessed, and I still walk out of the same place in the same condition that I came in here with. God says, now you're going to be silent now because I'm not going to allow that poison now to put it into somebody else. You told me you was in a place to hear the word. You got the word, yet you go out and still talking the same doubt that you walked in with. And sometime or another, we got to make a disconnect and say, look, I'm going to truly walk out on faith because I understand what God is doing in my life. I might not be able to attach to it right now. But I tell you what, I'm going to hold on to God said it because I'm going to take it back to him. You told me this was going to happen. I'm tired of walking in doubt and walking in this little tug of war, playing around with my own faith walk when I know God had told me this. We go into these jobs, we swear them down these jobs from God. But was it really from him? Because when we go into these places, when we go into those jobs, is it really about him? I shouldn't have to be struggling so much in this job when it's truly from God. I'm starting to doubt. God's going to bless me now to put me into a place. I'm here fighting with folks, arguing with folks and all this kind of stuff. How in the world can I say this is a blessing when I don't even want to be here? I go back, I pray. I go back and I pray. Then I come back, I talk about the same things that are keeping me from my blessing. I prayed about it. I said I was going to pray about these people and I was going to leave it alone. But too often, what do? We go back and try to adjust it, don't we? Just like in a microwave, when the food ain't heated up enough, we go back and turn on some more. As if we can persuade God to do something different than what he already said. God said, if you put it on 300, you let it cook. For this amount of time, it's going to be perfect. But no, I'm hungry, God, so I'm going to turn up to 400. It ain't going to hurt it. But that's what it was designed to do. Just like when he's trying to bless us, we do the same thing. We make the same mistakes all the time. We let our tongues talk instead of our hearts. Now, I didn't mean to say it like that. Yeah, you did. That's exactly what you meant to say, because I'm caught up in this thing right now. Because of cycle destruction, my faith going back and forth, that's where I am. I'm trying to make it seem like I'm so spiritual, but I'm really letting my mind and my tongue speak where my heart truly is. And if I truly blessed God and I really understood what God was doing, I'd be okay with it. And I said, man, I'm just going to roll with it. How ugly it looks, I'm going to go with it, because I know eventually I'm going to walk over and I'm going to be all right. God saved him from speaking, right? He stopped him from speaking because he don't want to spread the unbelief and the distrust to other people. As people of God, well, we are the ones that people come to get the word. And we're talking crazy. And what do you think those who are naive and not in the word like we are, what do you think they're going to think? Now, you said you connected to the word, right? You said you was a believer. But yet I hear more stuff come out of your mouth that drive me from Christ and drive me to Christ. Now, I'm listening to you on the side now. You ain't said a good word since you been here. Now, you talking about the company more than I am. You said you invited me. I still got your invitation from the church. I still got it sitting on my desk. I hadn't acted on it yet because I hadn't seen enough in you. Now, you said that you was a prayer warrior, right? But every time something seems to come up, I don't see you praying at all. But that's what you said you were. So when my mind and my tongue start speaking things that are not of, God said, man, you all messed up. Because your heart has got infected with the same stuff that you see. You should be changing the dynamic on your job. But yet you let it change you. I walk a straight line on my job. They try to pull me left or right. I always try to stay right down the middle, Brother James, because I know they off the chain, they retarded, and some things they say are not of God. But I said, if I react to it, I'm going to lose more than what I was trying to gain, right? So this one young lady yesterday decided she had a little lip problem, right? So she had an issue with me. So I'm doing my job, and I hear a distraction behind it. And I hear some words that I hadn't heard them in a while, right? So ever since my family had left the day before. But I'm listening to this language. And I said, now wait a minute. Okay, Lord, I'm going to let the first one go by. You driving the car a little closer now. So I had to turn around and address the issue. So I said, are you talking to me? Yeah, I'm talking to you. Dropped a few MFs and Lord. Don't let the tongue speak right now. Because we got a problem now. Now you're trying to pull me out of my element now. So I said, what you need to do is politely make a clock ring to go in the office. Because you got to get out of here. So in the presence of my enemies, God said, you got to make an adjustment right now. So I'm thinking, we got all this mail to deliver. I can't put this woman off the clock today. God said, if you don't get that joker out of here, I'm telling you right now. So I walked in there as calmly as I could. Your day is over. Come back on your next scheduled work day. The tears is flowing. No. Don't start crying now. Right. Because when you was out there calling me out my name on something I had nothing to do with. But see, now that you bothered me, I got to deal with it. But sometimes, in situations like that, our tongue will say something that God didn't put in us. I had to stay, and I had to have the faith of God in my heart and say, look, I can now put myself in a place like that. It's easy to react to foolishness. But the Bible tells us don't answer a fool and they follow. Because we could have got with it yesterday because I was already ready for you. Because I know you're crazy, but I said I'm not going to deal with you the same way that you dealt with me. He said, okay, do it differently. He said, but God has already spoken the blessings into his life. God's telling us today the same thing. I've already spoken in your life. But don't let it be stripped away by the ability for those to distract you. They will do it every time. I had a great devotion that morning. I got up early, ready to go. Soon as they come in there, here it comes. He said, okay, now we got to deal with the restraint aspect. He said, because you distrust in the process, you will not be able to speak to the people when they come out of the temple. That's bad. The people of God were waiting on Zacharias to come out and be a blessing. They had given him everything that they needed to go in front of the Lord and pray. That was his job. So when he goes into the temple, he comes back out. Not only had he been in there too long, everybody started to get concerned now because you've been in there. I gave it to you to take it to the altar, man. I'm waiting to see what God's going to say. God said, okay, you're going to go out and you're not going to be able to talk. He can only motion. Just go on. I can't, because he didn't believe in that, God took his abilities away to bless the people of God, which was his job. He said, I'm in this place, but in that place of my deliverance, God stripped my abilities to infect other people, right? I disrelease for a process that hinders us from receiving the blessing. But in the thing that goes on beyond that, go home, do what you got to do, right? But when they saw him, they knew the presence of God had been upon him. They seen he had changed. Although he couldn't speak, the process of the transformation had already started taking place. Zacharias came out, although he wasn't able to speak because his heart wasn't totally engaged in the process yet, but although he still had that doubt, God was still working in the background, right? So he said, okay, go home, not be able to do what you need to do. But think about this is what helps us in this season, right? He stayed and finished his service. Too many of us disconnect when God don't show up, right? Things don't go our way. We disconnect. We leave the church, quit talking to folk, we unfriend folk on Facebook. We do all these kind of childish things, right? We're gonna really show them, right? But God said, no, I'm doing this to preserve you because I'm still going to bless you. You concerned about this issue. I'm thinking about something greater than this, right? He said, you have to make sure you don't lose the hope of God while God is revealing his promises to you. So you go home and you wait. So he had to wait till the blessing actually came. So she hadn't been pregnant yet. So they was going home, right? So you're going to sit for 9 months and you're not going to be able to say one thing until it comes true. Now think about this. He's sick in his place. He's trying to deal with God, right? He's sick, but he's still rejoicing. He's still praying. He's doing everything he's supposed to do because he knows what's coming on the back end, right? When we have a hope in God, we understand this. He had already told him John was going to come. He had disconnected in his worship, but then he said, I got to get back connected, right? So there's 9 months. He's sitting back and he's just waiting. But yeah, he's still talking with God in his mind. He's still processing. He's still serving his wife. And all of a sudden, look what happens. The blessings start to come, right? There's a quote by Walt Allman. He says, doubt your doubts before you doubt your beliefs. Doubt your doubts before you doubt your beliefs. And that's, wait a minute, when that comes up on me, I know that ain't no God. Let me get rid of that. I believe God more. So the process engages itself, right? But then we got to get to the rejoicing. He and his wife, they retreated, right? Back into their meditation. He couldn't speak, yet he was still processing what was going on. He said, although I can't speak, I'm going to still stay connected to God. I'm still going to do what I have to do. And all of a sudden, the wife now starts to become pregnant. Oh, now the blessing that showed up now, how am I going to deal with this thing now? Because God, in all respect, I made a fool of myself at the altar. I can't talk to the people, yet I go home and I see the seed that God told me was going to come. So now I got to rejoice now. But Elizabeth sits back and said, wait a minute, something's different here, right? We have to prepare ourselves for this time that God's coming, right? Because everybody has doubted me. Folk can put everything aside of me, because if you didn't have a child at this age, it was though your family was cursed. So when you die, everything else died. Your neighbor's not able to live on. So they thinking, man, I'm seeing forever. But yet here God plants a seed in them that what shouldn't have supposed to have been there. God reversed everything of nature and thought pattern and everything else just to bless them. So we got hope in God. We understand that God's going to do the supernatural, but we got to just stay connected. He said John is going to come and he's going to be a bad man just like me. He's going to be the forerunner for Christ. Right? He said the hope is now turned around, because 9 months later, here comes John. The blessing now. I done doubted God. I done went backwards. I done done things I shouldn't have been done. Yet there he is in the flesh. God told me this was going to happen. How in the world am I sitting here right now? But if he wouldn't have cut me off from running my mouth and doing the things I shouldn't have been doing, and I'd have got this blessing a long time ago, and I would have been able to bless everybody else in the process. But since I didn't do it the way God told me to do it, I had to sit back and wait. And everybody gets the blessing at the same time. Only because we disconnected the source too early. They were able to worship God while they were still going through their process. Zacharias and Elizabeth had went back to a place where they only could minister to one another. He was dealing with sickness. He couldn't speak. His wife now is pregnant. She needs care. The blessing now is coming inside her. It's steady growing. She sat for 5 months until she was able to go out and show everybody what God had been doing in her life. Everybody else wondering what in the world's going on. How in the world are we in this place? Now she comes out. They see the baby bump. But Zacharias still can't speak, because the blessing hadn't came to fruition yet. I'm just showing you a little bit of what's to come. As you're going through the part of pregnancy, you're going to have the discomfort of the pregnancy. You're going to have the aches and the pains of the pregnancy. You're going to feel the baby growing. You're going to feel them growing. They're going to be kicking. They're going to be doing all these different things. But you're not going to be fully able to enjoy the blessing until you go through the pain of childbirth. Until you go through the process, you're not going to be able to feel the blessing of what God is trying to do to you, because we disconnect too early. If I truly hope that God is going to do something in my life, I got to stay connected to it. When I stay connected to it, I understand what God's going to do, because he's a bad man, and he's going to do exactly what he said. But when we disconnect from him, you have to go through the process. And you're not going to be able to affect others with that disbelief and distrust that I said. But see, we have to ask ourselves, am I able to walk boldly? Because God has finally showed up for me. Am I really going to be able to stand by God hand in hand and know God is doing something in my life? Or am I going to be the one like Zachariah, going to stand right there in the church? God is going to speak to me, and I'm going to still leave out the same way. Because the choir didn't sing the song that I didn't want to sing. God, the pastor, was all in my business. So I'm going to leave out here the same way that I came in here, because I'm unwilling to let go of those things that hindered me from God's blessing. Zacharias, they're sitting in a place now, God giving them the ability to hear. Out of all the people they could have chosen, there was supposed to be a younger minister to go in there. But they chose lots, and here was Zacharias that went in there. God has set this thing up for a reason. He already foretold to him what was going to happen. He goes in there, he gets the blessing, he doesn't believe it. He leaves out. There's no way, because I'm too far, too advanced. There's no way God's going to do this thing. The blessing now comes. Now they go back to worship. only because they went through the process. When we're in a season where we're truly asking God to do something, God is already speaking to us. He's telling us day by day, hour by hour, what's going to happen. Don't disconnect from the process and allow things to go on in our lives that shouldn't be there. Yeah, there's going to be some people that's going to come up and talk crazy. There's going to be some situations. Folks will go home, their lights will get cut off. Now, that has nothing to do with God. Am I still going to sustain myself through the process? Because if I sustain myself through the process, I know God has already put something in me. I'm going to have to go through some pains. I'm going to have to go through some struggles. But when that birth comes, I'm going to be able to see the blessing that God had already foretold. Yeah, when the baby comes, I'll be up at night. I might have to go to spend extra money, and they're going to be crying and all this kind of thing. But it's still going to be a blessing. But you got to hold on to the hope that Jesus will help you in your struggle. If we lose hope, we lose everything. But our hope has to translate into true belief. If someone in here today is walking that fine line, wobbling back and forth with your belief pattern, today is the day when we engage. Give it back to God. He's the only one who can fix it. He is the one that's going to bless you beyond measure.
Thank you for watching. Please come join us for worship every Sunday at 10 a.m. We are located at 40 West 40th Street, Indianapolis, Indiana, 46208. We are located inside of the Martin Luther King Jr. Center. Remember to stay connected and subscribe to our YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, and website. Thank you and have a blessed week. God bless.